Hello students. Today I am going to discuss the concept of mathematical tools as this topic is your demand, and for bio students I think that is very difficult to understand the mathematical concepts there. So that's why I have just taken this topic today to make a videos on that. So I think after that there will not be any confusion in that, because everything that you are needed to understand the concept of physics, and if there is any at any place, if there is derivations and graphical problems, algebra problems, trigonometrical problems, like differentiation, integration, all the things I will discuss here. Also logarithmic, anti-logarithmic, I will discuss that also here. So I think after that there will be no confusion at all in the mathematical concept. So try to understand the here the concept. I think mathematics students, for them it is very easy, but I think they should also learn it. So first concept is here in the mathematical tools that you have to understand, that is the concept of algebra. So I'm not going to actually discuss the what is algebra and other things. I will only here give you the formula and the theory that you are needed to understand the physics concepts or derivations here. So here we have, as in the number of derivations you have seen that you are needing some of the formula of algebra. There are some quadratic problems that you have to solve, and also one important theorem that is always comes in your derivations, that is the binomial expansion that we have used here. So let's see that one by one. So first of all, the concepts of algebra that you can see here, that is we have to know some formula. Like if we have two variables, and if the whole square of them we have, if the negative of them, like if we have something a plus b whole square, so you know that its expansion is simple, a plus b, a square plus b square plus 2ab. If we have a minus b whole square, then we have a square plus b square minus 2ab. So such types of formulas, here number of things that we have already, a plus b whole cube, a plus b, a minus b whole cube. So that things, I think that is already clear. So I'm going to discuss it. But still, if suppose that we have some of the quadratic equations. So quadratic equations that are in general, if you want to write them, then they are such something of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this such type of, this is general equation of the quadratic equations. And if such types of equations are coming in your topic or in your derivations, in your questions while you are solving numerical problems, then this equation again, I think some of the students are facing problem in it. So a very simple thing is that if you don't know how to factorize, how to write, then don't do that. Only use a formula here. So the root of this equation or solution of this equation is given by a formula, that is x is equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So with this formula you can easily get what will be the value of x, as if the equations here is square of this equation we are getting, then it will have two solutions. One is with the help of plus here, and one is with the help of minus here. So they are called, the solution of actually this equation are known as roots of the equation. So one root of this equation is that if you are taking here plus sign, and another root of equation will be then if you are taking here minus sign, and according to that we will get two solutions of this equation. So suppose if you are calculating kinetic energy, and in that case some of the quadratic equations you have, then how to take which one of the value. So there you have to take the concept of physics also. Like here I'm not only going to tell you the mathematics here, because here this mathematical tools they are, I'm just going to relate it with your physical problems also. So if such types of equations are in the formation of kinetic theory, kinetic energy, then you know that energy cannot be negative. So kinetic, the solution that you have to take there, that should be positive there. And also like if you are taking the distance and sorry, area and other factors, so area is also not negative. For that you have to take plus quantity. So where you can take plus minus both or minus, that you have to understand that is with the help of physics concept, then which of the quantity can be positive or negative. You have already actually, I think these of the things you have already understood in your lower classes in mathematics also. There we have discussed whenever you are talking about the geometry and other factors there. So if this concept of algebra, I think that is clear, and with this formula now there is no need to explain any other methods to solve it. There are one more method, the factor methods. So later I think for bio students it is difficult, so I am not going to discuss that. Only use this formula for the solution here. Second things that is very important in the physics, that is the binomial expansion that we are using. So what is the first of all binomial theorem and binomial expansion, and where we have to use it? So whenever we have suppose we have number of equations, and how can you know like or power series we have. So this, suppose this types of expressions we have, like we have already discussed a plus b whole square, a plus b whole cube. So that formula you can remind. But if I will ask you a plus b power 10, a plus b power 11, 50, 100, 1000, then that time how can you calculate it? That is the required difficult to remind all the formulas there. So for that thing binomial theorem helps us a lot. It helps us to expand this power series easily, and with the help of this power series you can understand the concepts. So if power series is given, then in that case you can expand with the use of binomial theorem easily. So binomial theorem helps us, and it says that whenever we have such types of power series a plus x power n, then we can expand it with the help of combinations, other thing like see the formula first of all. After that I will tell you how to expand it. So the formula is here nc0 into x power n plus nc1 x power n minus 1 into a plus nc2 x power n minus 2 into a square, so on. If you will take in that, this will be ncn x power 0 and a power n here. So if you will take x power 0, then you can write it 1 also. A power 0, this is equal to 1, we know that. So here with this equations we can expand this power series easily, and you can get the value of the expansion of this power series. And here one thing that is confusing, that is what is this? So this is the combinations. This is known as mathematics students have understood already permutation combinations, and here how can you compute the combinations. So there are some formula for this. So let's see what is the formula for the combinations here. So the formula is, suppose we have something NCR, we are taking it, so its value is given by factorial of n upon factorial of r and factorial of n minus r here. So this is the formula here for this. With the help of that you can calculate the combinations here. And now what is factorial? How can you understand it? So the value, the factorial, this is if you have to solve it, then its value is, suppose that we have factorial n. So its value is n, n minus 1, n minus 2 until it becomes 1. So this is the expansion of the factorial also. So with the help of this formula, suppose we have factorial 2 here. So the value of factorial 2 will be from this formula, n is 2, here 2 minus 1. and if you will solve 2 minus 1, here 1 we will get. So I just told you that you have to expand this factorial until you are getting 1 in the at last. So here the value of it will be 2 into 1, or this will be equal to 2. So this is the value of factorial 2 we have. Like in this way we can calculate, suppose we have to calculate factorial 4, only to make you understand the binomial theorem. This is very important for you to for the derivations in the physics. So if we have something factorial 5, then with this formula how can you expand it? This will be n, this is 5, this is 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3, 5 minus 4. And now you are seeing that at this 5 minus 4 we are getting 1 here. So if you will hold as a whole, you will see this is 5 into, this is 4, this is 3, this is 2, and finally this is 1. Multiply all these terms, this will give you the value of factorial here. So I think now there is no confusion how to calculate the factorials here. What is here this factorial, and now I think you are able to calculate it. And now if you are able to calculate it, then with this formula you can calculate what is the value of NC0 and NC1 in here, and with the help of it you can expand any power series. So let's see how can you calculate NC0 and NC1. One or two examples, let's see that. So if we see here NC0, so here this NC0, just take it here. With this formula you can see that the value of R is equal to here 0 we have. So let's see here the values, that is factorial n, also here factorial 0, and n minus 0, that will be factorial n again. Clear? And also don't think that with this formula if you will expand it, then here the n will be 0, then you will not get ever 1 here. So the factorial 0, this is a actually exceptional case. The value of factorial 0 is 1. We are taking that. So here the factorial 0, this value will be 1. And if you will see, then this value will be 1 overall. In the same way you can calculate the value of NC2, so we, or NC1, where for 1 you have to put the value of R is equal to 1. After that solve it, means if you will see here factorial n upon factorial 1, factorial n minus 1. So with the help of it you can solve it. Let's see how can solve. We can solve the factorial or NC1. So the NC1 value is here factorial n, here in place of R will have 1, and here we will have n minus 1. Now if you will expand this, then let's expand it. I think here I'm going to expand because there is no space now. So let's see it. So here we have NC1, this is equal to this factorial n minus 1, n minus 2, and so on. Here we have factorial 1. If you will see factorial 1 is here. If either you will take 1 minus 1, it will be 0. So you don't have to take that here. So only the value of factorial 1 is until I have just told you until we are getting 1. Exceptional cases factorial 0 here. So its value is already 1 we have to take. And for 1 will be, we will obtain 1 here also. So its value is 1. So and also the factorial n minus 1. So with this formula this will be n minus 1, n minus 2, and so on. Now if you will see denominator numerator, then this whole will be cut out from this whole. Obviously all the things you will get in this formula also. So finally what you will get here, this value will be equal to n. So if you want to write in general what will be here formula, then the value of NC0 we have got here 1, and the value of NC1 we have got here, its value is n. Later you can solve the value of NC2 here, NC3 here, NC4 here, and you can also derive a formula in the terms of n x power n or a. You can write it. So finally, if you will solve it in this way, then binomial expansion that can be written as a plus x power n. This is equal to x power n plus n x power n minus 1 into a plus n minus 1 upon factorial 2. If you will solve NC2, you will get here factorial 2 also. You can solve it, you can see it by yourself here. So just solve it like I have just told you in expanded way how to solve the combinations here. So I think now there is no problem while solving NC2 here. Try to solve it, students. So NC2 here, x power n minus 2 to a square, and in the same way if you can expand other formula. And finally, if you will solve NCN, let's see what will be the value of NCN also. So value of NCN, let's see it here. So we have formula that is factorial n. Here the factorial r was the factorial r, and the value of r is n, and here n minus r. Okay. And finally you will get, this will be cancelled out, you will get 0 here, and the value of factorial 0 is 1. So finally you will get the value of NCN, that is also equal to 1. So value of NC0 is equal to value of NCN, that is equal to 1 we have. So finally you will get here a power n. So this is the expansion series of the binomial expansion. With the help of that you can expand any of the power series. Like we have expanded many formulas in the physics, like when you are talking about the gravitational changes, when the change in gravity with altitude or with depth we have seen there we have just taken the concept of the binomial expansions there. So that I think there you have even realized so many difficulties, so that's why I just realized to make a video on this topic also. So now if you have this formula, then suppose we have something a value, for example let's take actually a numerical problem based on this. Suppose we have a question that we have to expand this 1001 power 1 by 3. Now how can you solve it? And you have to solve this or you have to expand or evaluate this problem up to the second decimal. Only up to the second decimal you have to solve it. So now let's see its expansion with the help of it. So first of all, whenever you will see such types of things, then you have to convert it something a plus x in the a plus x form here. So if you will convert it, then you can write here some a 1 plus 1000 power 1 by 3. Now this is converted into a plus x formation. Now you can apply binomial expansion easily here. Here the value of n is equal to 1 by 3. Value of a is equal to 1, value of x is equal to 1000, and now if all the values you have, just put it into this formula. After that you will be able to calculate it easily. So in this way binomial expansion we are using, and in physics most of the places we have used first order binomial expansion. So if you will see first order binomial expansion here, like if suppose that in the case of first order binomial expansion, if here suppose we are taking something a outside to it. So in this formula if you will take a outside, it means that a power n will be outside, and inside there will be 1, there will be x power a and power n. So you can also convert this into this to make it easy more for you. And after that, now if you will expand it, then what will be the expansion here? So x power n, first of all this is the our expansion. So here x is x power a we have. So x power a power n we will get plus n into x power n minus 1. So x power a power n minus 1 you will get, and the value of a is here already 1. So to reduce this thing only I have just taken this thing. So with the help of this concept of a you can reduce your efforts. That's why in most of the cases whenever I have derived the formula I have just taken this concept. If something is here, the value of a, I have taken a as a common here, so that here the multiplication of a that will be solved. So and already in our life we want a reduced problem, so this problem is now reduced easily. And again if you are here for third case you will write here, this will be n minus 1 factorial 2 here x power a power n minus 2, again value of a is 1, and finally you will get here 1. So this is the expansion that we are using easily with the help of something this types of problem. And now again suppose what is first order binomial expansion exactly? First order means here the value of n are called the order of the binomial expansion. If n is equal to 1 we are saying the order of the expansion is 1. If n is equal to 2 we are saying that order of binomial expansion that is 2, and so on. So n is representing the orders here. So if we are saying that we have to expand it in second order binomial expansion means we have to take the value of n is equal to 2. If we are saying binomial expansion of first order, we have to take the value of n is equal to 1 here. So if you will take n is equal to 1, so obviously here a power 1 we will have, so we will get a something here, and 1 plus x on a power 1. Now let's solve it with this method and see what will be the formula here. So here finally we will get x plus a power 1, obviously thing, and second things you will get n, that is 1 into x power 1 minus 1. X power 1 minus 1 that will be 0, and its value will be 1 we will have. Again if you will solve it, then 1 minus 1 this will be 0, and you will get nothing after this. So finally you are getting something such types of things. Then in this way if you can see easily here we are our value of n is equal to also 1 we are getting. So in another way if you want to write this equation, then you can write 1 plus x by a. Clear? So if you want to see it here, then you can say simply that if we have to take the first order binomial expansion, then we have to only multiply this power in at this place, and you will get the expansion of the first order. And but still if you want to see it, then you can understand easily how you will get this value here. So I think students now you know how to explain any equation with binomial series, what is binomial theorem and what is combinations, what is factorial. Now you are aware with all these things. So I think in this section now there is no problem. So if this is clear, then in next cases we will study about the graphical problems. Like in this is very important to express the variation between the different variables with the help of graph. So you have to keep the knowledge about the graphicals. If some of the equations are given to you, then how can you know that what is means which types of graphs that equations are representing to you. So and also if you want to see, suppose that we are saying that x is varying linearly with the y, then which types of graph we will get. So we are just plotting the always plotting the graph in the physics while representing the variation. So this is very important to understand the graphs here, and which types of formula are representing which types of graphs here. So let's see that. So the first graphical problem that we will discuss here, that is the uh, straight line. So there are a number of conics, that number of curves that we are getting, and you have I think mathematics students already studied while studying the coordinate geometry, and in 10th classes you have already studied that. So I think by name you are already aware of that, but still here I am going to just tell you the formula for them, how can you differentiate them, which one is which. So here like the name, graphs are straight line, you have parabola, hyperbola, ellipse, then there are a number of next thing we are getting. So let's see them one by one. So first is we are going to discuss, that is straight line. So for a straight line, directly I am not going to derive the formula, as I have told you that here I am just talking about the mathematical tools that will help you to understand the physics concepts or physics graphical problems. So there you have to know only which of the formulas are there that are representing the straight line. So the straight line is represented by the formula, that is y is equal to mx plus minus c. So with the help of this is the general formula for the straight line that we have, and where suppose if we have two axes, that is first is x, we have this is y we have, and you can now just make it in this way. So this is negative x-axis, this is negative y-axis we have. And now the straight line, suppose that we are taking some of the straight line that is passing through the origin. So this is the origin where x and y coordinates are meeting, and if the straight line is in this way, we are getting some of the straight line. Then with this straight line, if you will see something here, such types of, this is called the slope of the straight line. So the value of slope, that will be equal to y by x we have, or you can also define it with the help of theta. Means if you will see here, the angle of that is formed by the straight line to this x-axis, that is the angle here, and with this angle you will see that this will be equal to the slope that is given by y by x. Means the slope between y-axis and x-axis, this is the slope here. We are seeing a slope. This is calculated by this formula, and this is also calculated in terms of theta here. So you can calculate it. So m is here, the slope in the equation, means at which degree the straight line is inclined here with this horizontal axis. Like you have explained a number of concepts while we are talking about the inclined plane problem. So in the case of inclined plane problem, if some of the formulas or equations are given, then that time you can understand easily what is its slope, and how you can calculate it also there. Here C is the intercepts that is formed by this straight line to this axis. So intercepts concept you will get whenever this straight line will not pass through the origin. Suppose it is passing in this way, this straight line can also pass in this way. So if it is passing in this way, then in that case you will get some of the slopes in this equation, or also this line can pass in this way. There are a number of ways in this can pass here. So we are getting that this slope is, or this line actually is intercepting this y-axis and x-axis at some places. So these intercepts are represented by this C here. So C are the coordinates of the intercepts that is formed by the this straight line here. So now I think that is clear when you will get intercepts here, when you will not get intercepts here. So what is the concept of here? Also you can get lines in this way. So here in this way you are seeing that this is here at x-axis there is intercepts you have, and if a line is going in this way, here at y-axis you are seeing interface. So a straight line can be formed in many ways, and you have to understand this with the help of this concept. So if there will be no intercepts, means if this straight line is passing through the origin, then value of c will be 0, and the formula will be for the straight line, that will be y is equal to mx. And if there is positive intercepts, means like if you will see this is the straight line. So we are seeing that here a positive intercept at x-axis it is 0, but at y-axis it has some value. Suppose its value is something b we are getting. So for that case, here will be something plus c or plus the value of c is here, d is here, clear? And if you are getting such types of a straight line, so in this way we are getting y is equal to 0, but x is equal to something value, suppose that this is a. So in this case also we are getting positive intercept. Positive intercepts actually means यहाँ पे that is related to the positive x-axis and positive y-axis. So you know that already coordinates here. So these are the coordinates that are, this is positive x-axis direction, this is positive y direction, this is negative x-axis, this is negative y direction. So with the help of, if intercepts will be formed in the negative x direction, such that such types of intercepts we have, in this case this value will be here something minus a. And if this is formed like in this way, we are getting any of the straight line, in this case here also we are getting negative intercepts in the y. So now students, I think all the concepts of the straight line, that is clear. What is intercepts and how can you represent the straight line and how can you understand its equations. I think there is no confusion. Whenever there are two variables you have and that variables are related just with this such types of formula, it means that the graph between that two variables will also a straight line. So if you want to understand it in terms of physics, then let's see one example here. So example is that, as you know that we have v is equal to something dx by dt, or if we want to know or understand what will be here x, so dx is equal to something v into dt we have, or after actually integration I will tell you later. Here directly I am just going to take that, later I will tell you there. So this is if you will integrate it, we can get here x is equal to v into t plus something constant c. So this is the integration method. And now you are seeing that if we have two variables, here v is constant velocity you are taking, x and t are variables. If there is any change in x, then there will be change in t according to this, as we are seeing that. So if there is any change in t, then there will be change in x. And if here two of the variables we have just like y and x, one v we are getting, that is the slope of the slope here, c is intercept. So as we are seeing that this formula is just like the same as it is we are getting for the straight line. Then if you want to you have to plot the graph for this, then this graph will be something here at x we are getting intercepts here. So it means that such types of things you will get here, or such types of graphs you will get here. And suppose in this graph if this value of c is 0, then in this case this graph will be just like this. So this is the graph between this is x, this is t. So at x-axis here t, x-axis this is t, y-axis there is x. So this is the distance time graph we can plot here easily with the concept of a straight line here, and this is the linear graph. And if you will take the slope of this graph, then this slope that is equal to x by t. This is the way to calculate the velocity of the object. So with the help of distance time graph, if you have to calculate velocity, then definitely you have to take only the slope of that graph. So now this graphs helps us to calculate the physical quantities also very easily So I think this concept of straight line, students, that is clear. I've just related one of the physics concept here for this graph, and number of graphs in the motion chapter you have studied that distance time graph, acceleration time graph, velocity time graph. So I will take all of the graphs here like you have discussed in the motion chapters to relate this with the physics also. So I think now whatever we have just discussed here, that is clear. So rest of the mathematical tools we will discuss in next class, students. Practice it and try to solve more numerical problems so that you can understand easily here, and try to relate them with your physics problems. So let's end the class here today. Thank you.